No fancy editing, just straight value. And today we're going to redesign this particular email from Aura, which they generally create, I would say, decent emails, but some of them are not the best. Plus, they have a bunch of HTML parts in their emails, which is not really ideal. But before we start creating the email, I'm actually going to show you some examples here of good emails. And before that, I'm also going to show you how I found this email. So there is this app called Millet, and you can essentially, this is not the first time I talked about it in this channel, but if you're new, here we are. This is an app or a website where you can pretty much check every single email from any brand you can think of, right? If we go here, these are the brands I'm currently following, and I can see every single email from them. And I can just simply spy on these brands. So we were checking Aura. Let's go to Aura. And this is the email I am going to redesign. Now, to design the emails, you should always have as many assets as possible. By an asset, I'm just basically saying an image. The more images, the better. And you should always be using, Millet or the website itself. I'm just showing you this as an example because I'm actually going to create this email from scratch just using the images I have here, really just to show you that even with very few assets, you can still pull off an insane looking email, okay? So yeah, and now I'm going to show you some examples here of good emails, and I'm also going to explain you the science behind all of this. And realistically speaking, and like just long story short, essentially, we just need to create emails that even a 5-year-old can understand. And by this, I mean simplicity. It needs to be a clean and simple email. But there are a few similarities that you're going to notice on every single email here. And they are having a button on the beginning of every single email and having or trying to have the email as centered as possible, okay? This is very important because nowadays, I would say like 80% of the people are on mobile, they shop on mobile, and you need to have everything centered so that it's easier to click, okay? And even easier to see. I know it sounds stupid, but trust me, this works, especially the bigger the brand you are, okay? And many brands do this. So try to keep the email as centered as possible, and you can even see that. The next thing I want to talk about here is the layout of the emails. You're going to notice that we always have, a little bit of information with a button, an image, then an infographic, and then the final CTA. You can see, right? Here, 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 here. Always an image in the middle, ending with an infographic. An infographic is basically a fancy way of displaying text. Like this, 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 this right here. You get the point, right? And this essentially makes the experience, we can say, more fun or more enjoyable to go through. And another thing you're probably noticing is that there's not too much text, if we don't count this email right here. But generally, there's not too much text. And the reason for this, it's because this is a fast-paced environment. Most people, they don't actually read the email. They just go through it. And the less text you have, generally speaking, the better it is for the reader, and the more likely the reader is going to go through the email, okay? So we need to create emails specifically designed for a fast-paced environment, all right? So with all of this out of the way, let's begin designing our email. So here we are, and the very first thing I'm going to do is just to put this top part right about here. So I'm actually going to copy this image right here. Sorry. Got it here. And I'm going to cut it in two different ways. You're going to see exactly what I'm going to do. Now, I'm actually thinking of okay. So we're going to cut this like this. You can see this is a pretty simple. I want to make sure this is perfect. This is a bit more of a challenge, to be honest, because, you should be able to have plenty of assets. But in this case, just for the sake of it, I'm going to use only what this email offers, okay? Actually, you know what? I am going to just do this. Good. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut this part. And you can already have the idea or see like what we're going to do here. Yeah, this kind of looks a little, I don't like this. Usually what I do is I just add a gradient. I think that's what I'm going to do, like this. Gradient here. You can see that the transition is a little bit more like smooth, right? There we go. I use this a lot, but sometimes, depending on the image, you can also do a you can also use an AI extended image. It essentially extends the image, and it just looks generally good. Like AI is not perfect, but it really depends on the images. Now, for me specifically, I really like to use images with a plain or with like a plain background essentially, because it just looks cleaner, right? And yeah, I prefer it that way as well. Okay, so this is the first thing we did. Now we're going to literally just basically copy paste the copy here. We put a text here. We're gonna put a text. This is going to be our. Don't worry, like all of this is gonna look great in a second. But this is going to be essentially our copy blocks. Okay, we're going to regular and 30. I think 30. That's great. Okay. Now, just for the sake of it, we're going to literally copy paste the copy, because copy, like this is a video about design, and I want to focus specifically on the design. Okay, copy is a totally different thing. Okay, so we're going to put like 50 here. Just have an idea. So I believe this is instrument serif. Okay, we're going to put regular for now. Yeah, this is literally the exact same. Yeah, it's very similar. It's not the exact same, but it's very similar. Yeah, it's not very similar, but you get it. Outsmart your stress. To make it a little bit, I'm going to put this on italic. There we go. 125. Let me see how it looks like this. Okay. Outsmart your stress. Now we're going to copy this. Copy. And okay, so this is pro tip. Not a lot of people talk about this. I'm actually going to do this like 34. Okay. Pro tip, all right? Notice how different. Actually, I don't think I have to touch this. This is perfect. Notice how this copy has like a triangle effect, and even like the way you have the headline. This is the headline. This is the copy. The headline and the copy. They have this triangle effect. This is like a very hidden psychological trick that just works on people. And then you have a button, which, okay, I want to see how the buttons they have look like. Okay, so I assume this is like plus or counter. Not really, but okay. So this font is the one we're using actually. We're gonna use plus or counter font, anyways. Okay, so just to create a button is pretty simple. I noticed that their buttons are actually not very they're not huge. Corner radius here 50, so look rounded. Okay, I want to like. Okay, I'm going to use this color here. It's not exactly the same, but yeah, no, I don't like it. Okay, I don't like that. Yeah, okay, we're gonna go like this. And here we're going to put learn more. You notice how they have explore? Learn more just sounds better, in my opinion. Learn more. We're going to put this on bold. This is okay. Yeah, it's very similar to what they have on the side, isn't it? Okay, so they actually have like regular semi-bold. Yeah. 34, 34. Okay. So they like to have it really small. That's what we're going to do. Also, the spacing, like, I really can't explain the spacing, but you also need to have the spacing, like, locked in, if that makes sense, right? Did I did, okay. Okay, so we're going to put this image a little bit here. Perfect. Okay. Like, I don't know if you ever made ads, but an email is literally a long ad. It's all it is, but for a different, like, audience, right? For a different level of awareness, okay? That's all an email is. So if you understand how to create ads, you also generally understand how to create emails. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do here is, okay, like, so this is going to be, okay, this is looking great. Okay, that top part, like the top part is very important, okay, very, very important. So we're going to do this. I hope this works. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, it has a smooth transition to it, you know? I like the way it's looking. I like the way it's looking. And I love using a lot of gradients in my emails because it just looks clean, right? Okay. So we're going to copy this image. We got it right here. And I think I am going to make this a little bit more. Okay, no, not 12, 18. That's better. Okay. Actually, 32. I want it to look a little bit more similar to this. We're gonna stay with this. We're gonna stay with this. Okay. So I also noticed that, okay, meet your stress signals. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is we're going to copy this, copy paste, and we're going to meet your, or we can't just copy this. Wait, I'm such silly. Meet your stress signals. I'm actually going to go with this, like this. Perfect. This is going to be regular. Perfect. I'm going to put 163, 150. Okay, a little bit better. All right, so this is where the infographic comes into play, because there are so many things we can do, but I'm actually going to get an idea from them on an email that they have here. So this is how it's looking. I think it's looking great, but I want to highlight the fact that this big square, right? It's the same thing as this, and I was thinking of putting an image in the background here, but again, like, we want to keep the email simple, but I still want to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find an image here on their millet, and I am thinking of. So here we got the image. I removed this. I removed the background with AI, just to let you know. It's pretty simple. And my idea here is to create something along the lines of this, right? I'm gonna go like this. just so that it doesn't really affect that much the text. You get the point, right? You can actually see something behind it. I personally, honestly, you know what I'm gonna do? Like this, maybe? Maybe, because I want to also highlight the fact that the ring, you can see, there we go. You see what I mean? Maybe like here? We can't even do this, right? Looks a little bit, we'll just keep it like this, yeah. Because I don't want it we'll just keep it like this. Because I don't want it to, you know, to be difficult to read, right? I'm trying to make it as readable as possible, if that makes sense. But you get the point. We're gonna keep it like this. I'm not gonna touch anything. And we're gonna go to the next phase. And the next phase, it's gonna be okay. Okay, now the final touch, it's gonna be okay, the final touch, it's going to be an addition of this. I'm gonna put it right about here. Put this exact color. Yeah. Looks great. I mean, it looks okay. I'm obviously going to change the colors here. Ready to see your stress. Let me see how this looks like this. No. It needs to be that. Yeah. Even that. I'm going to put stress in dark here. And I'm also going to, I think in white looks great. I think in white looks great. So yeah, after a few tweakings, I think it's done, and we can both see the difference, right? This one has an above the fold CTA, generally speaking, like it has more flow to it, it's more on brand. It looks better, and generally like the layout is there, right? But again, you can see like most of their emails look like this. Like this, to be honest, isn't bad, but this is just better. And this will definitely perform better in terms of click rates, okay? Which is very important, all right? So yeah, that's it for this video. I also have one last thing, which is the footer. And okay, I actually want to talk about this. I noticed it in the beginning of the video, but I'm gonna see it now. So this is the real size of an email. The real size, 600 width. So yeah, this was something, that's why I had to resize everything. I noticed, okay, yeah, like the text, like the size of this is not the right one. I just basically mimic this essentially. But yeah, quick little thing. And since we don't have a footer, I'm going to make one, and it literally looks like this. So I noticed on their website they're selling Aura Ring 4 ceramic, and the charger. So what we can do here is, and this is literally how your footer should look like. Literally, that ass, okay? So, Aura Ring 4 ceramic. I'm not gonna change like the text or anything. It's just, you know, just a Aura Ring 4 and charger. Gosh. Okay, so this is essentially how it would look like, and you would put this here. This is basically the whole size of an email, but you get the point, right? So yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. I appreciate it. Hope you liked it. Let me remove this so that you can see the real, like, clean thing. It looks great. I like it, you know. We could do like outsmart like this. We could play around with the colors, you know. It could look like this. But yeah, it looks great. So yeah, that's it for this quick video. I hope you liked it. And if you're looking for someone to help you with email marketing, you are in the right place, because I pretty much study the best of the best and I improve on it. And, I don't use templates. I don't use tricks. I essentially study your avatar, your market, and I sell to it. I don't actually sell. Like, most of my emails are not related to selling, but I basically create emails that sell without selling, right? And I speak directly to your avatar. So yeah, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And yeah, that's it for this quick video, and wish you an amazing rest of the day.